Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Cantell School, welcome to your school. We're here today to talk through the wider reopening of our school from the 15th of June to Year 10 students. Can I start off by thanking all of our community for engaging in the process of the wider reopening. That is the feedback that you've given on the letter that I sent last week, but also on the PowerPoint that Mr. Creswell sent, and also the risk assessment. Those are all version 1. There will be version 2 and version 3 coming out, and that's because we really do want to hear from the whole of our community with regards to the plans that we are putting into place. Can I start off by talking about some of the logistics with regards to the wider reopening? First and foremost, the decision to make a wider reopening from the 15th of June has been made because we have a lot more intelligence and information with regards to the rate of localized infections. We are linking up with the Director of Public Health for Southampton, and she is providing all of the secondary head teachers and indeed the primary head teachers with regular information on the trajectory of those infections. So whilst it is absolutely the right time now to start to get students back in for face-to-face contact, we will be continuing to monitor the situation and will inform you accordingly. From Monday the 15th of June, for the wider reopening, we would want students to come in non-school uniform, but sensible clothing. That is because the expectation is that when students come back home, that their clothing is bagged and then put into the wash straight away, and that they wear fresh clothing every day where possible. This reduces the chances of spreading COVID-19. We would also strongly recommend that staff and students do not travel by public transport. We would advocate students walking to school, we would advocate students biking to school, and we would advocate students coming in in a car, a lift from those that they live with. If you are going to be dropping your son or daughter into school, please drop them off outside of the school because the car park will be unavailable. So this doesn't necessarily need to be straight outside of school, of course. It can be dropped off in one of the neighbouring roads. We've got two main entrances for students to walk through, and we'll talk about those in a minute. But if students are going to be coming on bike, and of course it's an incredibly healthy way of coming into school, then this is the way that we will be going through. So as you can see, labelled very clearly, this is a bike entrance only, and that students are to queue in the marked boxes. As you would expect, we will have staff carrying out duties at various different duty points across the school. As you can see, the boxes are very clearly marked out, and students are expected to stay in the boxes if there is a queue. As we get up to the top of the hill, we would ask students to wait here and for them to listen very carefully to the member of staff who will then allocate a spot for them to go through and drop off their bike. And as you can see, the students will be coming through this way, dropping off their bike, coming back, and as they come back, the member of staff will sanitize their hands. And this will be a key theme throughout the school. While staff will be encouraging students to wash their hands at regular intervals, to use the hand sanitizers available at regular intervals, we do need to teach our youngsters to take responsibility to do that themselves, both in school and of course at home and the wider community. So once students have sanitized their hands after dropping off their bikes, they'll come this way through to the next staff duty point. As you can see, the entrance into the school in the school, as in the turning circle, are all marked with socially distanced markers, which are 2 meters apart. So we ask those students that are coming in by bike to come this way, to separate out and to wait here until they are told where to go next. For those students that have been with us for the last 10 weeks, those students of key workers, we would ask you to come in through the staff car park, and we would ask you to come up the stairs, which, as you can see, are socially distanced. Being careful that there are no bicycles coming this way, and continue down all the way down to main reception, and your entrance would be the main school entrance. So we're now stood at the red and the yellow entrance, yellow coming in the morning and red's coming in the afternoon. This entrance is closest to Glen Eyre Road, so those students coming from Bassett, coming from Highfield and Portswood, they tend to come in this way anyway. But those students that come from the centre of the city, that come in from the Violet Road, the main part of Violet Road, and the Flowers roads, tend to come in through the main entrance, but they would need to continue to walk down if they're in yellow or the red entrance to come in through here. And as we walk through, you can see that we've got, again, these socially distanced markers. We've got a zigzag approach, which allows for the best form of social distancing. So students will zigzag around, but of course, as always, we would expect our students to be sensible here. If there are more numbers queuing, then we would expect them to be staying within the 2 meter threshold. As the students sweep around, we will have a member of staff here which will be the year leader assigned to that particular week, who will then sanitize hands, ready to go in. Okay, so we're at the main entrance for yellow and red. We're now going to go down the red zone, so we're going to follow red zone students. You can see clearly marked red zone on both the left and the right hand side. Turning left through these fronts, first set of fire doors. So going up past second floor. Going through the third floor now. Passing our Learning Resource Centre, turning right into Maths. And here's an example of the classroom that we'll be using. All socially distanced, 2 metres apart, sat on the right hand side. My work, my equipment, all available on the left hand side. And as you can see, as you pan around, you'll be able to see that we can comfortably fit in 10 chairs and 10 tables. So, what happens if I want to go to the toilet in the red zone? Same as every other zone. Make that fact known to the teacher will check through, make sure the corridors are all clear, and then I'll get the nod to go to the toilet. Get up, straight out of my classroom, sensibly, turning right to go outside of Maths, facing the Learning Resource Centre, turning left, and then we go to the right here, and again, here are our red toilets, male, female, and disabled. So when the bell goes for break time, as with every other zone, the teacher will tell me that my table can go to break. So I'll get up sensibly, I'll follow the students that have been dismissed before me, out to the right hand side, again going left at the Learning Resource Centre, going left here through the fire doors, going past the second floor, going past the first floor, down through to zero, sweeping round, through the fire exit, sanitising station again available at every break point. And then here we are at the red break zone, which also doubles up as the green break zone as well. As you can see again, socially distanced seating available throughout. The students want to sit down, they can walk around as well, and as always, 2 members of staff on duty at every break point. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, as we come to the end of this virtual tour, I hope you'll agree that we have done as much as we reasonably can to mitigate the risk in school. I've already spoken about the information that we've received more locally, which talks about the rate of infections, and you have my absolute guarantee that I will keep you informed when I receive that information on a regular basis. With regards to this device that I've been carrying around with me on the virtual tour, this is a thermograph, and we will be taking the temperature of our community when they come into school. With regards to any sign of illness, should that be before school or after school, we must take a really robust view on this. So if your child is displaying any symptoms whatsoever, please do not send them in. If they show any signs in school, we will contact you straight away and ask you to come to pick your youngster up. And if the symptoms aren't too severe, then we'll be asking for your permission to send them home. In terms of laptops, we will have laptops available in every single zone. We'll have laptops available and prioritised for the option subjects. We are encouraging your child to bring in the device or devices that they have been working on at home. Please do encourage them to bring in their phone, bring in their laptop, their Chromebook, whatever the device might be. It will help them to transit the work from school and to home, but also it will give you peace of mind that you're able to contact them during break time, before school and after school as well. In terms of food and drink, we have to be very clear that we will not be serving any food and drink on site. Students are more than welcome to bring in a snack or a packed lunch, but they must also bring in a bottle of water. All of our water fountains have been taken off to discourage students from using them, and so where possible, students should be drinking from water that they brought in from outside of school. If a student does run out of water, we do have bottled water available, but of course that is really limited. So it really only leads me to say thank you for viewing this virtual tour. Please remember that this virtual tour is to be viewed together with the following documentation. My letter from last week, Mr. Creswell's PowerPoint, the letter from Mr. Gill that is going out today, the risk assessment, updated version 2 that will be sent out today, and also fifth and lastly, and as important as all of the other documentation, is the updated behaviour policy. Please take some time to read these documents in full, to share these with your children before they return. It goes without saying, we're really looking forward to seeing your children again. We will do so in the safest way possible. Thank you very much.